Welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I hope you found the last episode informational and helpful. I'm Ed Rieger, your host. And people have told me to explain who I am as part of the introduction. I am the creator of the Psychological Paradigm Shift movement. You can find the entire layout of the movement on my website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. On the website, you're going to learn what the mission of the movement is, the books that I have written, the laws I am beginning to release, the podcast episodes from YouTube, and you will be able to follow my political activities when we launch. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinions based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. And we will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt, transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it will never be my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Tonight, we're going to cover relationship to exes and the questions you may want to ask your romantic partners. When you begin the dating process, knowing as much about the relationship between the mentally ill and their exes is very important, especially if children are involved. The psychological issues of the exes must play a role in your assessment when deciding to date or marry. The ex's current and past psychological issues should be a factor for you to consider, especially if you have children with your new partner and your children will be involved with these exes. The American Psychological Association states that 40 to 50% of all first marriages will end in divorce, and 60 to 67% for second marriages, and 74% for third marriages. Depending on your age, you may be dealing with multiple exes, current romantic partners, multiple stepchildren, multiple in-laws, and your current romantic interest and their exes' biological children. This can be a really messy soup to have to deal with psychologically. Many people I know have children together and never get married, and they do this with multiple people. In 1984, the United States Congress and Senate actually declared a day as National Single Parent Day. In an article by Joseph Chimik and published by NIUSS, America leads the world out of 130 countries in single-parent child raising from 0 to 17. This is something to be very alarmed about. But definitely for you and dating someone who has a child or possibly multiple children with multiple exes, this is a major red flag. Something to watch out for. Okay, let's get started with the questions. Do you and your ex get along currently? You could also ask, do you and your exes get along currently? Why did you separate or divorce? If you had children, what ex is that with or exes? Have you ever had sex with your ex once you divorced? How many times? Are you currently having sex with them? How often? Has that ex remarried? How many times? Did that ex have more children, and how many? Do you have a good relationship with your ex's current partners? If you do not, why? Are you comfortable with having your children around your new ex's partner? And if not, why? Do you know the history of your ex's new partner? Their family history? What is their status with families? How do you participate with them? Have your exes ever received mental health treatments? How many times and for what? Do your exes take any medications for mental health issues? What's the family history of your exes? Do they participate with their family socially? Do they take your children around their families? And if not, why? Have your exes ever been abusive sexually, physically, or psychologically, or financially to your children? How often did they abuse your children? Did your children ever receive psychological help for the abuse? Were authorities ever called in because of the abuse they received from your exes? Was any criminal charges or actions ever taken against your exes for the abuse your children received from them? Did any of your ex's romantic partners or spouses ever abuse your ex? Did any of your ex's romantic partners or spouses ever abuse your children? Did they abuse them sexually, physically, or psychologically? How many times did they abuse your children? Were authorities ever called because of the abuse of your child? Do you still allow your children to be associated with your ex's partner? Are any of your exes on sex registries? Are any of your exes, ex-spouses, or current romantic partners on any sex registries? Have your exes ever been incarcerated? This is a very important question. I know people who have children that go to prison, are released, have more children, get reincarcerated, and this cycle could go on and on and on. How many times have they been incarcerated? For what? For how long? Has any of your ex's ex or current romantic partners ever been incarcerated? How many times? For what? For how long? Are they still incarcerated? You can see by even these limited questions that when it comes to a romantic partner's ex or exes, there can be some serious red flags and landmines that you have to watch out for. When you combine the possible multiple exes and their partners, the complications mount between their siblings, family histories, parents, extended family members that may be associated with you and your current partner and who may want to have children with you someday. That's why being aware of the possibilities of past and current psychological damage to your current romantic interest becomes even more critical in your attempts to understand them and their histories with their exes and extended exes, partners, family members, and so forth. And this is where becoming a complete psychological detective is really at play, because now you're starting to look at the big picture of how you'll be affected by all these past relationships and connections that everybody has together, and is it something that you're comfortable with, that you think you can deal with and manage, especially if you're thinking about having children with this current partner who may have this kind of multiple connections to exes. So these questions can be critical in your dating process and or planning to marry somebody. So, okay, we're going to go ahead and stop there. Thank you for sharing time with me tonight. I hope the information was helpful to you as we progress through the psychological paradigm shift. Remember, you can go to the website, psychologicalparadigmshift.com. I'll post any updates when I have them, and you can sign up to receive future information. I look forward to next week's episode. It's going to be on smoking tobacco usage. Take care of yourselves.